Coming to you live from Ursprung Gymnasium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. Welcome inside our coverage of Ohio Athletic Conference basketball. It's the crosstown rivalry, the John Carroll Blue Streaks and the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. It's game number 16 of the season for BW as the Jackets try to beat John Carroll for the third time in a row. I'm Brendan Gulick alongside Jeff Miller, and happy to have you alongside tonight. Jackets right now 5-3 in the OAC. John Carroll at 4-4. They're one of a couple teams that's 500 in conference play. They had their recent six-game winning streak snapped with a frustrating last-minute loss to Capital, where the Yellow Jackets went on the road and hung in there with Otterbein, lost to Ohio Northern, responded with a win against Wilmington on Saturday. And so, Jeff, the Jackets come in with only 3 losses in conference play through their first 8, and they find themselves behind Marietta and Mount Union, who right now are considered the top 2 teams in the conference. But both of these teams know they have the ability and the talent to play at that upper echelon level.
Yeah, definitely. These 2 teams are always perennial powers. Right now, we both have seen, you and I have both seen Marietta and Mount Union here, so we do know that they probably are the elite of the conference right now. But you never count out these 2 teams ever, especially when they're playing each other. It's always an exciting game with this. Probably the biggest crowd you'll see here in Ursprung every year because of the locations. But you never know in the second half, one of these teams is going to beat one of those other 2 teams on the road or at home.
And they're so different from what they looked like a year ago. And in John Carroll's case, in many years past, they don't tend to employ the same 5-in, 5-out rotation substitution style that we've seen from John Carroll teams for the last 15 years. It does not appear that they have the same kind of depth that they've had in those last several years. But that said, they're still finding ways to be awfully good. Jackson Sartain has got a chance to break the conference 3-point shooting record in his career. He's only a junior, and he's already approaching it. He's already broken the John Carroll all-time 3-point record, and he's one of just a couple of guys on this team that can really score. So the Yellow Jackets today, I think, really have to be focused on the defensive end of the floor.
The minute he came, he transferred in, so the minute he stepped foot on that court for John Carroll, everybody knew what he was. He was a shooter, and everybody knew it coming in. So what a great player that he is. And, yes, what the defense of the Yellow Jackets have prided themselves on all year, they really need to keep that going in this game.
Sartain and Luke Schaefer were high school classmates out at Medina. Lots to come here this evening, but the Yellow Jackets win the opening tip and off and rolling here in Berea. The Jackets in their primarily white uniforms as Schaefer steps into an open 3. Drew Sova tries to pull in the miss, and he does. John Carroll in their predominantly navy kits. Anthony Mazzio bobbled it, got the pass away well enough. Pretty rare that you'll see John Carroll play something other than man-to-man defense. Zach Sabula considered the 3. Instead, a kickball with 2 seconds on the shot clock. And before we give you the starting lineups, Brett Gearhart, Patrick Egan, and Todd Van Sussen are the officials here this evening. Acquiring to inbound, Sova. Shot clock set back to 20 on the John Carroll kickball defensively, and Sova swirls one in for 2. Drew Sova, Michael Quiring, Anthony Mazzio, Luke Schaefer, and Zach Sabula. Starting 5 for Tom Heil. It's been the starting 5 for all but one game here over the last month and a half. Meanwhile, Sean Flannery bangs in a 3 from the left corner. A senior out of St. Edward High School, Westlake, Ohio native. Jackson Sartain, we mentioned him. The Berger brothers, Jimmy and Ryan, continuing to play well. And Emmett Chambers, a sophomore, also a St. Edward High School product. Chambers was inserted into the starting lineup after roughly the first 7 games of the year. And all he's done since then has been a huge handful. Schaefer puts it in. It's 4-3 Jackets.
You said the Burgers. It seems like these guys have been here for 10 years. It's just how good they are.
It's a good shot fake in the corner, drive, dish to Chambers, and a 2-hand flush. 5-4, John Carroll out front here. This has the kind of feeling, these 2 teams in particular, and not just the 2 schools, the 2 programs, but the specific way that these 2 teams play they have each had pretty streaky seasons. Sometimes absolutely on fire, can't miss. And they've had times where the ball is just not going in. And in a game where emotions run high, as you see Chambers miss there, I think you got to find a way to try not to ride that roller coaster too much.
It's one of these games that always seems to come down to that last possession. So yes, like you said, you can't put your head down if you miss a shot. You just got to keep playing.
Good start for Sova. He's got 4 here, driving there on Chambers. Little step back for Sartain. It's the heel of the rim. Chambers the offensive rebound. The Berger brothers wear 21 and 22. Jimmy Berger on the layup try there, didn't go in. Both of them St. Ignatius products and in their senior season. Mazzio considered the top of the arc 3 instead from a little closer. And an unfriendly roll. Ryan Berger pulling it away. Berger into a 3-ball in transition. No, his foot was on the line. It's only a 2, but nevertheless a good jump shot. 7-6 Blue Streaks.
That's the one thing the Jackets are going to have to watch, because I thought that was back 2 threes already for. They're all worried about Sartain, and then they're going to have to worry about everybody else shooting the 3.
Good try by Sova. Better defense there from Chambers. Flannery on the run out, finds Jimmy Berger. Ryan gets a screen from his brother. Now Flannery. Step back from 18. Too much on it. Sova pulls in the miss. 16-25 and counting first half. It's a 1-point game. Both teams bringing some subs over to the scores table. John Carroll 11 and 4 on the season. They're unbeaten out of the league play. Sova up and under for 2. John Carroll's had a couple of interesting games this year. They beat Whitworth, who was in lots of people's minds a better team than John Carroll. They're ranked number 11 in the country as Ryan Berger tries too much on it. Sova gets it. But then they turned around and lost to Muskingum.
Did Dempsey score 75 of the points?
Scored 40. Problem was the rest of the team wasn't really held in check. Dempsey's going to get his just about every night, that's for sure. Schaefer spots up Sabula, wide open for 3, but it's too long. 8-7 Jackets, almost 5 minutes in. Sartain lays it off to Chambers. He goes to work, turns around a second time and scores it. Good move. Hard to imagine how the season began for him so awkwardly. He didn't score in his first several appearances. Came off the bench against Marietta. Dropped 13 as Mazzio misses the 3. Sova grabs it. And from that point on, Chambers was put in the starting lineup, and he's been borderline all-conference quality. Wow, no foul call there. Mazzio underneath, apparently not hit hard enough. Instead, Chambers is blocked by Sova. What a rejection!
Good transition D there for Sova, that he came back out of nowhere and got that, which looked like it was going to be another dunk for Chambers.
Corbin Anthony, Connor Fitzgerald, and Mason Trubisky, younger brother to the Chicago Bears, starting quarterback, and former mentor Cardinal Mitchell Trubisky. Those 3 young men in the game at the moment. This is Trubisky in the right corner. Sartain, a little fadeaway from just south of the free throw line. Not sure how you defend that.
Looked like a shot put. He just quick shovel passed it into the hoop.
Shane Zalba, who's a former mentor Cardinal, on the floor. He finds Sabula for 3. 11-11. Good back and forth game so far in the first few minutes. Fans are still filing in here inside Ursprung. These two teams met in the OAC semifinals a couple seasons ago, and John Carroll won on their home floor. Flannery's in trouble underneath. Alex Nara, who's on the floor for the first time tonight, is fouled after he grabbed the rebound. Jackets going to make one more change here and bring on Jake Snyder out of Archbishop Hoban. And especially for those of you who are from the Cleveland area paying attention tonight, it's awfully cool, I think, and feeds into this rivalry that so many of the players on these two teams come from Northeast Ohio high schools. West Side, East Side for sure, but the fact that they're Northeast Ohio natives gives it a real fun flavor. I recognize an awful lot of high school basketball coaches and fans that are here tonight just to follow these guys as they've continued their careers.
Yeah, it's a great feeling, and especially some of these guys are teammates.
Absolutely. There's a foul as Connor Fitzgerald went to the free throw line, and you've got high school teammates that are playing together at college or playing against each other.
And a lot of conference kids that played against each other, like the Brunswick guys against the Medina guys, and it's a really fun thing. I'm surprised like we haven't created something to play for like the football teams do.
Sure, yeah. No, it's pretty much up and down the roster on both sides. Most of the guys at least have some level of familiarity with just about every other player on the other side of it. Good free throw there from Connor Fitzgerald. Tied at 13, his first 2 points. 13:32 left in the first half. Not to mention these two head coaches get along so well, and it's a friendly rivalry. It's a competition, and they want to beat each other. But Pete Moran and Tom Heil and their assistants, I think it's fair to say they're friends even beyond colleagues. I think it makes it a lot of fun. Tyler Colombo, who's in now. Remember, he missed some time with a knee injury. Glad to see he's healthy enough to be back out there. The Yellow Jackets called for a foul on Alex Nara. Jackets making a change here. Matt Dimitriev's back in with Nara, Zalba, Snyder, and Colombo. If you just tuned in, we've had a pretty good start offensively for both sides. Jackets 5 of 12 from the floor. John Carroll's 5 of 11. But neither team has shot the three-pointer too well yet. One for each side. And it's worth noting that John Carroll from three-point range is ridiculously good. As a team, they're at 41.5% on the season as Ryan Berger lays it in with a foul. Tough play. That 41.5% mark from behind the three-point line is fourth best in the country out of 416 teams. It's not just a Jackson Sartain show, for example. You know he's able to do it, and he's hitting almost 4 a game by himself. Jackets bringing on Samson Albert here to replace Zalba. It's not a one-man show, although he certainly is awfully good. Ryan Berger's at 41%. Connor Fitzgerald's hit 56% of his threes. Sean Flannery a measly 39%. They got a lot of guys that can confidently stroke it from deep.
Which is a great thing because a lot of people are going to just key on Sartain, and then
sure,
you got to be able to find somebody when he's not on the floor or covered.
Big moments here for Samson Albert as Dimitriev's thought about a step-back three. Instead, Nara turns around. He got fouled and one. Alex Nara a free throw shy of tying things up here with 12:44 left in the first half.
Nara, who's been just lighting it up the last few games and setting career highs each and every night, is something that the Yellow Jackets definitely need with Colombo being limited.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt this is the kind of production that this coaching staff hoped they would get out of Alex Nara. We've referenced a few times his career has been a little up and down at times. Good help side defense there from Nara, forced a miss. Corbin Anthony too much on it. And they need his productivity as we get into the meat of the OAC schedule. Today's officially the 9th of the 18 games in the OAC portion of the schedule. So we're halfway through conference play after tonight. Ty Colombo turns and scores. 18-16 Yellow Jackets, 2 for Tyler.
Nice move that they expect from Tyler, and good to see that the injury's not hampering him.
Jimmy Berger after some nice handles. Tyler couldn't keep his feet. Offensive rebound. Trubisky wanted a power dribble, and I think that was deflected out of bounds off the Jackets.
Fumble Trubisky?
Maybe. Flannery comes back on. Sartain returns. And John Carroll bringing in Luke Hippler, who's a Columbus area kid. Went to St. Francis de Sales. Hippler, a junior on this year's team. Berger, boy, I don't know how that one didn't fall in. Goodness gracious.
These officials are definitely going to let him play a little bit, too.
Haven't had many whistles tonight. Only 5 fouls combined in the first 8.5 minutes as Dimitriev's is open. All right. So you'll see it here. That's the flopping signal. And that is Todd Van Sassen, that official. It's not a foul, it's a flop warning on that player. That's one of the new rules in college basketball this year, that if you do that a second time after having been warned the first time, it becomes a foul. Sartain. Ryan Berger to the rim. He got hit, and he'll go to the, I guess not to the free throw line. Well, you know what? Okay, they will give him free throws. I thought the initial signal was that it was going to be a baseline inbound, but 2 foul shots coming for Ryan Berger.
Pretty sure they didn't know if it was on Sampson or if it was on Colombo, and they gave it to Colombo, so that's why it's the shooting foul.
Ryan puts the first one in. Give you some updates along the way when we can from the other games around the conference tonight. Mount Union and Marietta is also a big one, and early on, it's the Purple Raiders at home with a 5-point lead over the Pioneers. 18-18, Ryan Berger off to a good start with 7.
And the other rivalry game on the women's side, at the end of the first quarter, BW leads John Carroll 11-10.
Okay. Tight one over out in University Heights. Ryan Berger wants a deep 3 and puts it in. 21-20. This game has been punch and counter punch for 9 minutes. Good ball handling skills from Jake Snyder. Nara goes to work on Hippler. Wants to spin around him. That was well defended. Nara throws one up off the back of the cylinder. Of course, Ryan Berger, the brother that started his collegiate career in University Heights, where his brother Jimmy transferred in. That Dimitrievs gives people a reason to cheer. Well done by Dimitrievs, his first 3. It's 23-21. What a find underneath Ryan Berger from Jimmy, fouled. And free throws here for John Carroll. 23-21, Baldwin Wallace. Jimmy Berger attended Gannon University, where he was the, as a Division II player, the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference Freshman of the Year. And as soon as he made his way to University Heights to be a little closer to home and play with his brother, he's been in the starting lineup every game. And Jimmy's been a fantastic player for JCU. He's been all conference a couple different times, part of the all tournament team 2 years ago. Wow, that one popped away too. How did they miss them both? What an offensive rebound. Good effort from Ryan. Jackson Sartain wanted the step back. Snyder was all over him. Instead, underneath, Nara might have blocked that with his elbow. Good defense.
BW's getting back on these easy layups and dunks. Great defense that they've been playing the first half here.
Inbounds pass comes to Sartain, who sold that pretty well with Snyder's back to it. Albert with a beautiful read, takeaway, and he misses the layup over the front of the rim. I think he considered dunking it, realized he wasn't going to get up. Instead, Jimmy Berger with a right-handed layup. Well, that's costly. Can't miss opportunities like that. No one feels worse about it than Sampson does. See if he can make up for it. Flying through the lane, Michael Quiring's going to check back in for him momentarily. Ryan Berger fouled on the floor, and he's going to shoot 2.
That's 2 on Demetrius.
Well, John Carroll's only committed 2 fouls as a team. Dimitriev's going to have to check out here. Albert comes out. Snyder's out with Mazzio returning. In fact, it's a whole bunch of changes. Starting 5's back in there now. 23-23 the score, 9:23 left in the first half. And that's an offensive foul. Michael Quiring had his feet set. Chambers didn't like it.
That's the one thing Quiring is very good at, and
he is awfully good at that. You're right.
He might be taking ice baths after these games, because that Mount Union game when John Carroll drilled him by just turning, he was in his armpit. So it's
right.
Like he's small, and these big guys don't see him, and they run him over.
Michael Quiring is fearless. If he's nothing else, he plays with reckless abandon at times, and it's hard to coach that kind of heart. Appreciate that about him, no doubt. 9 minutes left first half. This is Luke Schaefer in the corner. Well guarded, and he airmails it. Quiring saves it, finds Mazzio. He pulls up mid-range, and Chambers grabs the miss. Ryan Berger finds Jimmy. Jimmy Berger with a left hand. Nice move through the key and lays it in for two.
That's the one thing that the John Carroll Blue Streaks always have done, is they look like they're going to shoot the three, and then they easily cut down the lane when they're all thinking about guarding the arc.
Jackets shooting 50%, JCU at 40%. That's a three ball, just the third of the night for BW, but Mazzio with a good triple try gives him back the lead, 26-25.
Good three there, because Mazzio's looked a little tentative on his shots.
Flannery wants to answer. Couldn't do it. Sabula 3-on-3 for a moment. Everybody else catches up. BW's turned it over once. John Carroll only twice. It's been a pretty clean game both ways here in this first half. Putting on a good show for the folks here in Ursprung. Quiring measures and hits. Big three. Michael Quiring puts BW up by 4. 29-25, timeout John Carroll. I think this is the largest lead of the game for either team.
I believe it is at 4.
Back and forth they've gone. Well done so far. Blue Streaks called timeout with 7:43 left in the opening half. BWYellowJackets.com. Live streaming coverage of the first half between John Carroll and Baldwin Wallace continues on BWYellowJackets.com. Along with Jeff Miller, I'm Brendan Gulick. It's a 4-point game at the moment. We've had 14 lead changes and 5 ties. And we haven't even played more than 12 and a half minutes. This 4-point lead is the largest of the game. If that doesn't tell you how back and forth this first half has gone, I don't know what does. Sova down the right lane was fouled on the floor. Got held on the forearm. 14 lead changes in 12 and a half minutes.
That's crazy, but 14 lead changes, but it's like 1 point.
Yeah, back and forth and back and forth. Absolutely.
Would not expect anything less in a game like this between these two teams every year.
Schaefer, one-on-one. Luke's been working on the physicality part of his game quite a bit lately. Sova trying to pull it in, and he does off Sabula's miss, and then Drew telegraphed that one. Well done by Flannery. Sartain transition, 3-ball. Didn't go in. He hasn't started lighting it up yet, but don't let him get going. Only 2 points so far for Jackson Sartain.
He's got such a quick release, and I think his game here last year, he started off a little slow and ended up like, I think, 20-some points.
Schaefer wide open, buries it. 32-25. Jimmy Berger wants to go by him. Good pass to Hippler, who wasn't quite expecting it. Instead now, Connor Fitzgerald in some trouble. 12 to shoot. What the heck happened there? PW comes away with it. Mazzio went plowing into Flannery, who thought he had drawn the charge. Instead, Luke Schaefer hits a 3 on the left side. And all of a sudden, Baldwin Wallace is on a nice little run here. 9 straight points. Flannery's 3 is good. And he is smoking mad right now.
So is Coach Moran, because I think he has every right to call. You're going to call it down here on Quiring. You got to call it up in the backcourt on for Flannery.
I think Flannery had a pretty good case too. 35-28, 5:47 left first half. Schaefer from a long way out. Not quite. Luke Schaefer's having a good start to the game though with 10 points. That one goes up and a foul. They're talking about how quick the release is for Jackson Sartain. He's hit 54 three-pointers this year. When you think about even just in recent history, some of the company that he's been able to eclipse on the John Carroll career three-point record chart. He earlier this year in late December surpassed Danny Wallach for the three-point career record. But I mean, some of the other guys that have played just in the last 10 years, Corey Shantz and Mike Hartnett and Joey Meyer. I mean, there are some guys that have had national recognition for how well they've shot it from deep. And I think Sartain, he certainly isn't taking anybody in this league by surprise, but I think he's starting to get the recognition beyond just the confines of the OAC that he's deserved. He is a legitimate deep ball threat every night. He's averaging almost 4 per game. From the free throw line, Jimmy Berger connects. 35-29. Berger and company have been a little sloppy on free throws tonight. Meanwhile, BW's taken just 1 foul shot the whole game. Right now, the 6-point lead for BW probably attributed to the fact they're 6 of 12 from behind the three-point line and 14 of 28 from the floor. Good press break by the Jackets. Colombo, the good pump fake. It opens up Mazzio. And it's a 7 3-point first half for BW. 5:12 left before intermission. And a foul under the basket on Colombo. That's his second. He's a little bummed. Well, it's the 8th on the Jackets. And so John Carroll's in the bonus here the rest of the first half, which still has 5:11 left. Not quite. Mazzio grabs the miss. John Carroll 6 of 10 from the free throw line. Quiring should have gotten called for a carry there, a little lucky. This is Sabula. Oh boy, both defenders left him. And Zach makes him pay for it. String music for the young man from Brunswick. 41-29.
It seems to be in these series games, whoever hits the more threes, and it always is because they both like to shoot them, whoever's hot wins the game.
Flannery lobs it underneath. The ball was bobbled, regathered, and Corbin Anthony couldn't complete it. John Carroll is starting to fall apart a bit. Good job by Trubisky poking it free from Quiring. Now Trubisky gets it back and lays one wildly off the window. Anthony's follow-up misfires. Ty Colombo has it.
Shooting themselves in the foot right now, not hitting free throws and missing easy layups.
And the poise on BW's side has been impressive. Even when things have been a little chaotic, they haven't crumbled right now. Couple of changes here. Let's reset the floor for you. Ryan and Jimmy Berger both in with Flannery. Hippler and Trubisky rounded out for the blue and gold. Colombo, Sabula, Mazzio, Nara, and Quiring for Tom Heil's side. 41-29. This is a good run right now. The Jackets were up 26-25. It's a 15-4 run. Colombo back to the bucket, bobbled it in the paint. Flannery comes up with it. One of the best point guards in the country with assists. His assist to turnover ratio is really good again this year. Wants a step back, and he buries it. 10-point game, 8 for Flannery. Sean averaging right around 9 per game, so an above-average first half for him. That was the weirdest bounce I think I've ever seen. The ball rode up Colombo's leg and almost went in. Flannery gathers it back. This is Jimmy Berger. Mazzio has it.
Like you said, a 15-4 run, but it's all been the Yellow Jackets from 3-point on that run, too.
For sure. Tom Heil calls timeout. I think he sensed his team was a bit winded. Give them a chance to get their legs back underneath them. That's certainly one of the differences of the game at this level versus at Division I or Division II, where you have media timeouts pretty consistently. These games, sometimes you don't see more than one stoppage in a 20-minute first half.
I can tell you that being a guy that does PA and has all these reads to do and trying to give away giveaways, and yeah, you guys gonna call a timeout? At least the women, the women's game, you get a timeout, you get a quarter break.
That's right.
Speaking of the women's game, 23-22, 2:19 left in the first half. BW up by a point.
On the men's side around the league, Mount Union 30, Marietta 19, 6.5 left before halftime. Wilmington leads Muskingum 34-23 with 3:30 left in the first half. Otterbein out front of Ohio Northern 36-27, 3.5 minutes before the break. And after a little bit of a delay for some reason, Capital and Heidelberg got off to a later start. Heidelberg 21, Capital 12. There's still 12 minutes left in the first half down in Bexley. 3:13 left in our first half. It's BW 41, John Carroll 31. Nara backing down Flannery. He's got a size advantage and he takes him to town. Good work, Alex Nara. Nara's got a handful. Sartain, great job creating space, and he buries one in Sabula's face. 43-34, that's Sartain's first three of the night. 9-point game, 2:38 in the first half. Nara on Sartain. Alex is getting hot. 2 in a row. Connor Fitzgerald in the corner. Would love the effort right now from Alex Nara. Jimmy Berger on Mazzio. They switch and Schaefer guards him. Fitzgerald with the right hand. Little hook shot didn't go in. John Carroll's offensive persistence is not paying off right now. At one point, they were 12 of 24. Quirin gets called for the miss. You know what? I take that back. They were at 45% shooting. Now they're down to 38%, 12 of 31 in the first half. Tell you what, they are 3 for their last 10 from the field. The Yellow Jackets have gone on a nice run, 6 of their last 8, many of them from deep. It's an 11-point BW lead. Sartain cuts through the middle, Flannery dribbling, now Jimmy Berger. Left hand dominant to the rim, and it's good.
Nice take again by Berger. You pretty much know, you saw the two screens coming at the top. He's going down the lane with the left.
Jackets by 9 with $1:20 to play. Quiring back to Sova. Oh, good idea. It was deflected out of bounds. I think Drew had that drawn up perfectly in his mind, but good last second deflection off Sartain's hand. 14 to shoot. Lobbed into Sova. Quiring wide open. Off the back of the rim, Snyder was not boxed out, and he's fouled as he goes back up with it.
I think it was good defense by Berger there until he decided to come down. He had the size advantage. There's no way Snyder was getting that ball close to the rim. With Berger just straight up. Unfortunately, came down on him.
Baldwin Wallace shooting it quite well in the first half. 8 of 15 from behind the three-point line as Jake Snyder steps to the free throw line. Calmly puts in the first, where Snyder has proven to be a good free throw shooter. He's 10 of 11 right now during his freshman season. Get a change here. Hippler returns for Fitzgerald. 2 for 2. Samson Albert coming back on. And he's going to take Schaefer's spot. In an effort for Schaefer not to pick up a foul here, Samson Albert could help his team with some good defense. 11-point game. Ryan Berger, nifty job holding the ball like that. Instead, a foul on the rebound, and it's whistled against JCU.
It was a nifty take, but the BW defense pushed him so far out that him trying to come around, he couldn't get it off the glass.
Now BW's in the bonus, and it's going to send Snyder back to the strike. All right, 1-1 for Snyder. They must have been pretty confident he'd make it with only Ursprung standing on either side of the key. 3 points for Snyder. He'll try for a fourth. All right. 49-36, largest lead of the game. John Carroll's had the lead ever since the John Carroll called timeout with 7:55 left in this half. We had 14 lead changes in the first 12 and a half minutes as Jackson Sartain strokes it.
Pretty shot. There's nothing more to say about it.
49-39. Samson Albert with 25 seconds. It's about 5 seconds in front of the game clock here. So BW will have to take a shot. Firing's got to dribble the ball here. 10. He gets released, 7 to shoot. Michael will take it himself. Too much sauce on it. How about that? Snyder tipped it up and he threw it over the backboard where it hit the wire. That's not a bad idea. You do what you got to do. John Carroll with 5.2 seconds. They'll have a chance to inbound here. See if they can get a shot off. You would think they've got enough time here. Inbounds comes to Sartain, right back to Berger. It's stolen by Albert. He finds Quiring, catch and shoot, and it doesn't go in. Good try. How about that first half for Baldwin Wallace? Boy, did they shoot the basketball well. 8 of 16 from behind the three-point line. A perfect 5 of 5 from the free throw line. And they went 18 of 35 from the field. Just a little bit better than 50%. John Carroll struggled offensively in the second 10 minutes of the first half. They finished the first half 40% shooting, 5 of 10 from 3, 6 of 10 from the free throw line. And we've got a 10-point game at the break, 49-39. Luke Schaefer and Jackson Sartain, former high school teammates at Medina. They each have a game-high 10 so far. Drusova's got 8, Alex Naro with 7. Mazzio and Sabula have 6. Flannery and Ryan Berger each have 8 for John Carroll, 7 for Jimmy Berger. Those are the team's offensive leaders. BW 7 turnovers. It's only become 4 points for JCU. The Streaks have 4 turnovers. It's only turned into 3 BW points. The Jackets are killing John Carroll on the glass, 23-16. And the entire difference is on the defensive glass. And both teams are sharing the ball okay. BW certainly been a little bit better in that regard. 10 assists on 18 buckets. John Carroll's got just 4 assists on 14 made baskets. So it's halftime here at Ursprung Gymnasium, where John Carroll on the road is fighting hard but losing. At the moment, it's 49-39. Baldwin Wallace by 10. Come on back in about 15 minutes for the start of our second half coverage, live on BWYellowJackets.com. Welcome back on BWYellowJackets.com. Along with Jeff Miller, I'm Brendan Gulick. It's a 10-point game as we get ready to start the second half. Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, the 49-39 lead over their crosstown rivals, John Carroll University Blue Streaks. Yellow Jackets have had a couple of good wins this year, but I think it's probably safe to say if they could win tonight's game and get off to a 10-6 start with a 6-3 mark in OAC play, I think they would probably sit there and say, look, we're not where we want to be, but perhaps in a better spot than we expected, considering what they lost a year ago and some of the growing pains they knew they were going to have to go through this season.
No doubt about it. You pull a win like this, you're going to make sure you stay in third place behind the two top teams, and you're distancing yourself from those teams behind you.
John Carroll with a quick turnover as we get rolling here to start the second half. Blue Streaks will go into a full court press. Berger, Flannery, Sartain, and Chambers against Sova, Schaefer, Mazzio, Quiring, and Sabula. The denial off Ryan Berger out of bounds. Pete Moran walking in front of his own bench, barking out instructions. Tom Heil was seated doing the same thing. He had a whistle to stop things for a moment, although I'm not exactly sure what.
I think they were talking about the shot clock. At least 1 second had to come off.
Okay, that makes sense. Sova received the inbounds. I was looking at Luke Schaefer going over to his bench, wondering if he lost a contact or something. Definitely the shot clock there. Sova, good idea on the fake handoff, and then the dump down. Schaefer couldn't handle it, still loose on the floor. The Streaks are diving for it. And it's a jump ball. Stays with BW. Well, I referenced the fact they were diving for it because that was one thing you didn't necessarily see a lot of in that loss to Capital last weekend. John Carroll was standing up trying to scoop up lost balls on the floor, and Capital was consistently a little more aggressive, wanted it a little bit more. Quiring, tough shot over Chambers. Put that one on the highlight reel. 5 for him. Meanwhile, Sova gets back and plays good defense. Chambers missed it. Jimmy Berger got the offensive rebound. Chambers turns around, misfires. Berger there to clean it up.
That's one thing the Yellow Jackets are definitely going to have to work on there, is making sure that second and third chances don't happen. That was the Chambers-Berger show right there.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what more Drew Sova could have done. It was as good effort as you're going to ask for legitimately. Schaefer, 12 to shoot, decides he wants a 3-try. No, and Sova, he got taken out. That's a foul on this end of the floor. It's on Jimmy Berger. At least I believe so. Yep. Second foul on Berger, team first. Pretty hot shooting first half for a little while. Jackets are at 53% for the game. 8 of 16 3 balls already. That is off Chambers. He tried to reach around and put it off Drew Sova's leg. Couldn't quite pull that off though.
Here's an update from across town. The women's game is 25-24. They've scored a basket each in the last 5 minutes.
Jeez. Wow.
And that's with a halftime break.
Top 2 teams in the OAC on the women's side this year. Schaefer sidesteps, Sabula open, and he buries it. 9th 3 of the night for BW, and the lead is back to 13. Jackets almost jarred one free at the top of the arc. Sartain from a step behind the free throw line, and it sat on the rim and fell away. Quiring grabbed the miss. Sabula's back in the same place. Sartain won't give him any space. Little slip pass. Sova bobbled it when he pump faked it.
I think Berger slapped it away from him too. They're good defense.
Barreling into Quiring. It's called a blocking foul, and Q can't believe it. His feet were set, but I think he was leaning a bit.
Yeah, I don't how quick that happened, I was really thinking it was going the other way, and he was picking up another charge there.
No Q certainly thought that was going to go his way, but not the case. First foul against him. Jimmy Berger from point-blank range can't get the thing to roll in. Goodness gracious. John Carroll's a good outside shooting team, but for whatever reason, they've missed a lot of bunnies today.
No doubt about it. I mean, maybe we put a lid on the rim down here.
I don't know. BW by 13. Acquiring in some trouble. Had to make that pass, but it didn't work out. No way he was going to score had he not passed it. Ryan Berger got clobbered as he went up. Schaefer says, "What do you mean?" Hip checked him on the way.
That might be a good foul because they're
Sure.
not shooting very well from the foul line tonight.
6 of 10 as a team. You know, it's amazing. As a team, they're 41.5% from behind the three-point line, which is it's outstanding, remarkable. I mean, it's the fourth best number in the country. But they're not even at 69% as a team from the free throw line. Riddle me that one.
Less three-point practice, more free throw practice, I guess.
I guess they are pretty much dead middle of the country, ranked 230th in their team free throw shooting. That's 12 now for Ryan Berger. 54-43, almost 3 minutes into the second half. Along with Jeff Miller, I'm Brendan Gulick, having some fun tonight. Acquiring dribbles between two defenders. Euro steps around them and struggles there in the lane. Here come the blue and gold. Jimmy Berger controlled it the whole way until the very end. This is another one from close by. Sabula's open. He'll let it go. Chambers grabs it.
That was almost all the way down and came out.
Flannery. Good backdoor find. Ryan Berger with Mazzio guarding him well. That is off Berger, out of bounds. Good work from Anthony Mazzio. Both Bergers check out. Connor Fitzgerald back in. Eric Hanna, freshman guard out of Olmsted Falls, comes in. Luke Hippler on the floor for JCU. Flannery and Sartain still in there. Nara, Sabula, Schaefer, Quiring, and Mazzio for BW. It's an 11-point game. Beginning of this game was tight. We had 14 lead changes and 5 ties in the first 12 and a half minutes, with neither team leading by more than 4 points. Nara in trouble, and that's off a blue streak. But ever since that point, BW has had the lead, and they have not led by less than 6 points for a good chunk of it. It's been a double-digit lead. Schaefer off the inbound, lost the handle. Sabula came to his help. There's only 3 to shoot. Got to let this one go. At least it hit the rim. It gives him a fighting chance. Quiring saves it. Mazzio trying to work on Flannery, who just won't get away from it. Mazzio turns around, dumps to Nara, and he lays it in. That's an outstanding offensive possession.
Don't know how he got it away or found Nara in that traffic.
Flannery, full head of steam, slows up, scores it. Timeout, John Carroll. It's a full timeout called for by head coach Pete Moran. Baldwin Wallace 56, John Carroll 45, with 15:32 left in the second half. Taking a look at the OAC scoreboard, and all of a sudden, what we expected at the beginning of the season to be true is at least proving such right now. I think Mount Union's a better team than Marietta, even though the Purple Raiders are not ranked. Mount Union is pounding Marietta early in the second half tonight, 56-39. I know Marietta's had a good year, and I don't want to discount the Pioneers. They're a good team. But I don't think they are the 6th best team in the country, and I don't think they are better than Mount Union. And Mount Union is serving notice right now to the rest of the league.
Yeah, I've seen them both play, and to be very honest with you, the athleticism of Mount Union, their length, they're by far ridiculous. 6th ranking is
It's a little gaudy.
It's gaudy. It's what it definitely is. The history, what the Pioneers have done over the last several seasons. Coaches are going to vote for them in that spot, so that's why they're 6. It's really ridiculous that Mount Union's not even higher in those receiving points or in the top 25. Some of these teams that are ranked probably don't want to see them because they probably haven't seen them.
Oh, I don't disagree with that at all. And I'll tell you right now, I mean, Marietta, they're the first team in league history to win at least a share of 5 consecutive regular season titles, the 5th of which was obviously last year. So they deserve that recognition. And it's not just 1 or 2 groups of classes that have played well. John Vanderwall's got a premier program. They were an Elite 8 team last year for a good reason. Sabila's in trouble. That's over and back. But I don't want to discount Mount Union this year. I think the Purple Raiders are really good.
Yeah, just watching them, I was impressed by what Coach Feuline has there for them, and they're lengthy, and they could really scare some people if they wanted to. Put those 2 big guys, John Carroll and I can't remember the transfer kid, that if they want to bring him in, look out. They could really put havoc on a lot of this league because nobody could match up with 2 bigs like they have.
Traveling violation in front of JCU's bench there. We got several different guys on the floor. Let's reset it for you. Ryan Berger, Jimmy Berger, Connor Fitzgerald, Ethan Chambers, and Sean Flannery. I'm sorry, Emmett Chambers and Sean Flannery. Matt Dimitrievs, Michael Quiring, Jake Snyder, Luke Schaefer, and Alex Nara for the Yellow Jackets. 5 minutes gone, second half. 11-point lead for the Jackets. Their largest is 13 late in the first half. Nara, little dipsy-do right to the rim.
Blue Streak defenders thought he was going to jump stop, and he just dipsy-dooed, like you said, right to the rim.
But Nara with 11 leads the scoring on the Yellow Jackets side here. 14:38 on the clock. Chambers trying to take advantage of this against Colombo. Instead gave to Berger. And Snyder called for a foul with his forearm. Elsewhere, Capital leads Heidelberg by 5 halfway through the second half. Wilmington is drilling Muskingum 68-34 with half the second half remaining there. 5-point lead for Otterbein over Northern midway through the second. That's a 3-ball, and that's a foul. Snyder picks up a second foul in the blink of an eye.
Walking in here, I was here for a little bit on Saturday, Brendan. Wilmington is a team that I would not want to see later on in the year. They got some athleticism. You're not the typical Wilmington teams they've had in the past that had some very good players. But they could be dangerous on their own court and on the road.
The Jackets beat them on a buzzer beater last year. Buzzer beating layup down in Wilmington. BW did get the better of them in the OAC tournament. As the free throw misses for Ryan Berger. Well, this could be a big result for Baldwin Wallace tonight if they hold. There's still a lot of basketball left because if Marietta loses to Mount Union, you'd have Marietta at 8-1, Mount Union at 8-1, and the Yellow Jackets at 6-3. BW plays Marietta at Marietta this weekend. They play Mount Union at Mount Union coming up in a couple weeks, February the 19th. Jackets have a tough schedule. They're going to play 4 straight road games. Wilmington, Carroll, Capital, and Mount in the month of February.
They're only home twice in the month of February.
Some travel on the Jackets, yep. Ohio Northern coming here. Jackets lost to the Polar Bears on the road by 7 last week. And they'll host Otterbein on Senior Day, final day of the regular season, Saturday, February the 22nd. Berger. Nice move down the right side. Chambers can't tip it in, and then Schaefer nudged it out to Matt Dimitrievs. 11-point lead for Baldwin Wallace. Trying to beat John Carroll for the 3rd consecutive time. They swept him last year. Schaefer. Tough on the baseline. Back to Dimitrievs. I think he was standing out of bounds. Sure was.
Yeah, you said 3 straight. John Carroll, it leads the all-time series, but they're not very good here. They trail 37-20, or they've only won 20 times here. Last time they won here was 2 years ago, so.
Actually, I think BW leads the all-time series. It's close. I think it's Baldwin Wallace,
by
63.
4, yeah. Yep, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, but certainly it's been competitive back and forth, and especially the last few years, where for a while there, the Yellow Jackets couldn't seem to come up with a win. All right. Dmitriev's high arcing rainbow three missed the rim entirely. Here comes Fitzgerald. Baldwin Wallace trying to figure it out here offensively. They've gone a bit cold this half. This is Hugh Brown for JCU, first appearance of the night for him. Hugh is out of Hawken High School. Pump fake, now a shot from Ryan Berger over the rim. And a foul on Chambers as he pushed off the back and grabbed the rebound.
Should be his third.
He's going to check out of the game with Corbin Anthony taking his spot. 6'5" junior out of Madison. Chambers a little flustered as he goes back to the bench.
Yeah, he's had the looks and he's not getting them to fall, and kind of frustrating, and then you got a little guy down underneath and you go right over the top of him.
Good little shimmy from Zalba. Shane with a no-look pass gets deflected out of bounds. Mason Trubisky checks back in, and Hugh Brown has a seat. BW 58, John Carroll 47. Jackets have hit 9 of 21 threes. Did an awful lot of that damage in the first half. BW is not shooting it well since the break, though. Nara turns around and got fouled on the floor. No shot. That said, the Jackets are still at 50% shooting for the game, 22 of 44. That foul is on Anthony, his first, team third. Had a few more whistles here in the second half. Nara, Trubisky all over him. Alex bobbled it, regathered, scored, and counted. One more coming for Alex Nara, who's having a fantastic evening against his crosstown rival.
Every time you see Nara, it looks like he's losing control of the ball, and somehow he gets it up and in and gets fouled.
Alex Nara steps to the free throw line looking for his 14th point of the night. Got it. A senior out of Mayfield is having pretty arguably his most memorable game in the history of the series, at least in games that he's played in. Nice move by Connor Fitzgerald. Nara had 19, 21, and 19 in his last 3 games, so it's not unlike him to be playing well. But it means a lot when you play well against your rival. Point ball game. Jake Snyder will inbound here. Zalba runs the point. In trouble, got tied up. That is terrific defense. Now Sean Flannery. Sean's dad, the extremely successful high school coach at St. Edward. It's a St. Edward and St. Ignatius guys on the John Carroll team as Flannery steps back. This is off the back of the rim. Sartain runs it down, shoots a 3 off target. Zalba running out. Snyder rhythm 3, not quite. Trubisky finds Sartain in the corner. No. Dmitrievs clears it away.
BW got away with one there. He was wide open.
He is 2 3-pointers shy of 250 for his career. And he still has as many as 10 games left. Maybe more, depending on how JCU does in the tournament. And just his junior season. No shot there. Foul is on Dmitriev's. That's his third. You might be able to see it across the way. Well, it might be difficult, but perhaps you can tell that the coaches on both teams are all wearing sneakers. Coaches versus Cancer Suits and Sneakers Week across college basketball. January 20th to the 26th. Berger's three, nope. Offensive rebound, Anthony, good job, puts it back up and in. Been some nice national tributes I've seen on national TV the last couple of nights, games across the country on both the men's and women's side. And their efforts recognizing that there are a lot of folks dealing with cancer. Jake Snyder spins inside the free throw line. Can't finish off the play though. It's off Sova out of bounds. 61-51. I don't want to say it's a comfortable lead against a team that shoots a three as well as JCU does. It's not comfortable, but they haven't exactly cut into it here.
No, it's never comfortable. I would say maybe with 20 seconds left it was that.
Almost got three the old-fashioned way there. Instead, two free throws coming.
Yeah, everything that they're taking to the rim is falling off, and BW is lucky that they're falling off because there's a lot of three-point potentials right there.
John Carroll in the second half so far has hit 4 of 16 from the field. Baldwin Wallace in the second half is 5 of 12. So neither team exactly lighting it up. Now it's a 9-point game. Quiring, Mazzio, Schaefer, Sova, and Sabula. It's the starting 5 for BW. Ryan Berger hits them both. Timeout, John Carroll.
Just a quick before we go to break, Brendan, it's opened up a little bit on the other side of town too. BW is now up 40-30 at the start of the fourth. It's the largest lead of the game. John Carroll's largest lead is a point.
All right, keep our eye on the Yellow Jacket ladies, who are still sitting on just 1 loss this season. It's been a great year for Sherry Herron. 61-53 in Berea. The Jackets lead it by 8 against their crosstown rivals. Well, it kind of feels like halftime came at the wrong time for both of these two sides. They've combined to go 1 of 9 from behind the three-point line in the second half, after the two teams in the first half combined to go 13 for 26. So we'll see if maybe they can hit the reset button somehow and get back into a better rhythm. Hope you're enjoying our live streaming coverage tonight. These two teams will meet again in just a couple of weeks. It'll be on the 12th of February, which is a Wednesday night over in University Heights. JCU and BW in the second of the 2 meetings this season. Mazzio open. This fires. Flannery grabs the long rebound. John Carroll with a fancy little pass, and Berger can't make it count. Ooh, tough play. Corbin Anthony fouls Quiring as he knocks him over.
So one thing about this rivalry, with them being only 40 minutes apart, it'd be wonderful if this game could be on a Saturday afternoon or evening. Can you imagine what the attendance could be on one of those? But since we're right across town, we got to play on Wednesdays.
That's typically how it goes, isn't it? 61-53. Well, hopefully both teams are good enough to meet on the final Saturday of the OAC tournament. Drew Sova got it. 63-53. Sova's into double figures. He's got 10 points. It would be fun to see these two teams play against each other for an OAC title, although, while certainly not impossible, Sartain hits a 3 ball. I'm quite sure Mount Union and Marietta would have something to say about that.
Always.
If not others. All right, by the way, for Sartain, that's career 3, number 249, so the next one will be 250. We'll see if it's tonight or not. Meanwhile, Drew Silva, or I should say travel with the ball near that right elbow.
Probably not the offense that Coach High wanted. Your big man trying to make a dribble move into the paint.
Not quite. I will say this, too. Jackson Sartain's a really good dude. Had a chance to spend a little time with him. And considering what he's accomplished, he's as humble and hardworking as you're going to find. It's, in a lot of ways, the epitome of a Division III athlete. Wish him success, but not tonight.
Yep, you do whatever you want the rest of the season, except for February 12th or whatever.
They beat Mount Union and Marietta by 50 apiece.
Hope he scores 50.
That's right, like Jason Ellis did against the Blue Streaks a couple of weeks back for the Pioneers. 63-56, Jimmy Berger. Not good. John Carroll has had a tough night from the free throw line. 12 of 18. You can't miss foul shots in tight games. That'll come back to bite you. Nara returns for Sova. Alex Nara's got 14 to lead BW. Give him 6 rebounds too. By the way, Sova a double-double, 10 and 10. Berger misses them both, but Connor Fitzgerald bails him out with an offensive rebound. Still a chance to get points here as Jimmy Berger puts it in and one. 11 for Berger, and all of a sudden, it's just a 5-point game.
Didn't we just say that 10 minutes or 2 minutes ago that 10 points is not comfortable in this series?
Not even maybe. Berger with some retribution as he hits that one. Hold on a second. A little slow to get up. Corbin Anthony got popped. I don't know where he got hit, but he's trying to play tough here.
I think he caught an elbow right in the face as he was trying to rebound.
Very well might have been the case. He's all right. Good job by the officials to stop play for a moment. 4-point game. Schaefer comes back to help Nara. Byring's got 5 seconds to cross the timeline. Left side of the forecourt. Great crossover by Q. Down the lane. He spins it in. Count the bucket and the foul. Q flexing in front of his bench. What a play.
Nice taken from our angle. I got lost where he was. I knew where he had the ball, but you couldn't see who fouled him either.
Third foul on Connor Fitzgerald. Quiring's got 7 as Emmett Chambers, the big man at 6'8", comes back in for Corbin Anthony.
And immediately goes to the trainer and has him look at his lip.
John Carroll athletic trainer Paul Spacuzza is a longtime trainer for the Cleveland Indians back in the glory days of the 90s. Berger, a little behind the back dribble, spins around. Nara all over him. Quiring pokes it away from Flannery. He's on top of the ball, no foul for anybody, and a good find, but the Jackets throw it away. My goodness. It was almost perfect. Good effort.
Typical, you know, like a wide receiver making the turn and going for the touchdown and dropping. Nara was already thinking about the flush.
Well, that's twice now BW has given John Carroll a gift. Samson Albert missed a wide open layup in the first half. And the Jackets give away 2 points there. Lead by 6. Sartain in the corner. Under 8 minutes to go in regulation. Flannery from a long way away. Here comes BW. Nara sets the high screen. Q looking around, gets it right back. Michael Quiring to the corner. Mazzio, skip pass was dangerous. Sabula's there, and he throws one up too far. Mazzio tried to get crafty. That one was apparently last touched by Nara. The Referees didn't see it the same way the Jacket bench did.
That was another very close one from our angle. Nara and Berger are right there. Obviously, that's why he gets paid the big bucks to be the referee. And
That's right.
It's off of him.
Sartain, Chambers, Berger, and Flannery. Against Sabula, Nara, Sova, Schaefer, and Mazzio. Ryan Berger rejected. Sabula grabs it in the corner. Baldwin Wallace with another good takeaway. All of a sudden, though, the Jackets have not valued possession very much. They've turned it over 17 times tonight. They only had one turnover in the first 6 minutes of the game. Acquiring from another zip code.
From Brunswick.
Yeah, he's hit him from there before. Not that time, though. Sartain. Flannery. Chambers on Nara. Alex not giving in. Chambers misses from the right side of the key. We're at 6.5 minutes to play. Acquiring with good handles. Finds Mazzio. Didn't pull the trigger. Mazzio on Chambers. That's advantage Mazzio, and he goes barreling into the defense. It's an offensive player control foul. A little too much there from Anthony Mazzio.
It's a game again in University Heights. The Blue Streaks came back. It's 44-41 BW with 6:03 left. Kind of thought that was what's going to go on both these games always.
That's right. Connor Fitzgerald back in. Sartain has a seat for a moment. Jimmy Berger will inbound to Flannery in the backcourt. 6-point deficit for John Carroll. We're at 6:10 and counting in the second half. Chambers working with Flannery. Jimmy Berger backdoors it. Schaefer was there and a foul.
Here's the one for you, Brendan, right now, just quickly looking. Mountain Union's up 31.
I'm telling you, they are out to make a statement. It is a beatdown. 87-56 in Alliance. Mount Union over Marietta, and they still have 8:24 left in regulation. Mount Union is out for blood. OAC tournament runner-up last year. There were tri-champions in the league last year, Marietta, Mount, and Capital. Mount Union was the only one of those three not to get an at-large bid into the NCAA tournament, despite the fact they played for the OAC championship. 65-60 after JCU splits the free throws. Acquiring on Flannery, goes to his right. Schaefer finds Sabula. Now Nara. They lost it in the double team. Good defense. Flannery wants some space. Schaefer gets his hand in the passing lane. Berger's hand's a magnet. He's been doing that all night, but he misses another one from near the bucket. BW dodges another bullet, and the Jackets are going to call timeout.
Which I think was the benefit, because I think Nara was looking to the bench like, come get me, I need one.
Well, BW had 5 in their pocket, so using one there makes a lot of sense. They've got 4 remaining. John Carroll with 3 timeouts still at their disposal. BW 65, JCU 60. 5:18 to play in regulation in Berea. Hope you're enjoying our live streaming coverage tonight on bwyellowjackets.com. Blue Streaks have defended a little bit better here in the second half, and they've fought their way back into it 65-60. The problem is John Carroll is not shooting it well at all in the second half, just 26% from the floor. And yet they've still been able to close the gap because they've taken 6 more shots than the Yellow Jackets have. They've also hit 8 of 12 free throws in this second half. Schaefer, 12 to shoot, drives down the lane. That's off Luke's knee. Wow, the Jackets get lucky. That should be should be JCU ball. Instead, BW on the baseline.
Makeup?
Thought that was pretty clear. That went off Luke's right knee. Sabula in the left corner. Finds Quiring, catch and shoot 3. Ring him up, Michael Quiring. 10 points for Q. He's the 4th Jacket in double figures. Connor Fitzgerald. 4:40 to play in regulation. Ryan Berger wants a screen with 7 to shoot. Kicks to Flannery on an island. Ryan Berger grabs the offensive rebound. That is off BW, out of bounds. 68-60.
Coach Hiles definitely getting a little frustrated that the second and third and fourth chances that the Blue Streaks keep getting, one of these are going to go down. You can't. The percentages that have to go in the favor eventually here of the Blue Streaks. They can't keep missing all these easy ones.
Well, John Carroll a bit unlike themselves tonight in the sense that they've only got 4 assists on 20 baskets. They are usually much better than that. Sartain, 4-3, no. Sova last to touch it, out of bounds.
Coach Hiles is telling them, grab it, grab it. So one thing I was going to say, the Blue Streaks have seen Sova the last 3 years. They know he tends to put the ball closer to the floor, and they're trying to get him to knock it right off him and out.
Sova's developed himself into one of the better big men in the OAC. He's as strong and physical as any guy in the league right now. Good ball rotation. Chambers has a mismatch, fights it up, can't score it. Finally, Nara pulls it away. Chambers has to finish that over the much smaller Sabula. Schaefer's under the bucket, trapped in trouble. Nara scores. Might have gotten away with the travel. Jimmy Berger took that extra little Euro step, but he got fouled.
Now he has to hit both of these. They can't, at this time in the game, you can't be missing them for sure.
Well, John Carroll's hit 14 of 22 free throws. They have made twice as many foul shots as BW has taken. The Jackets are 6 of 7 from the line, but you can't miss 8 foul shots and shoot 31% from the floor and expect to have a lead. And that 14th point for Jimmy Berger cuts it to 9. Make it 8. Fitzgerald back in for Sartain. 8-point game here, 70-62. Quiring. Double teamed and trapped. Schaefer helps him out. Luke's got 5 seconds to get it across, and he does. Nara, he'll take it from the corner. Alex will hit those once in a while, but Chambers was willing to let him do it. Instead, this is a Fitzgerald 3. Looked a little flat, but it went right in. 7 for Connor off the bench. And it's a 5-point game with 3:05 to play.
Maybe they should start shooting flat ones because they're going in.
Sabula. Quiring. Drives the baseline. Little trail pass. Nara's open. Nara sidesteps Fitzgerald and uses the glass. Timeout, Baldwin Wallace. 72-65. Alex Nara continues the best two-week stretch of his career. 19, 21, 19, and now 18 points tonight. And he is single-handedly helping BW stay in this game late. They lead by 7 with just 2:45 to play.
And you know this is a big game for him, coming from Mayfield, playing in their backyard. He wants to take it to a Blue Streak team.
Meanwhile, with still more than 4 minutes left in Alliance, Mount Union is embarrassing Marietta, 101-61.
Wow.
It's a 40-point game with 4 minutes to go. Holy smokes.
Well, and on the other side of town, Brendan, the Blue Streaks have taken their largest lead of the game. They're up 50-46 with 1:05 left to go.
So it's a tight one across town, too. I cannot believe that Mount Union has put Marietta in their place like that. 40 points is a big deal. Connor Fitzgerald back in this gymnasium hits a big three. 72-68, 2:30 to go. And this game is right where we expected, tight, late. Nara leads the charge, back to Quiring. And if you're John Carroll, there's no reason to get flustered here. JCU's in the double bonus, BW just the regular bonus. Tough effort from Schaefer, good look, but it missed. Would cut it to a one-possession game with a basket. 2 minutes to play. And a foul on Schaefer, his third.
And this is one thing that Coach Howe and the coaching staff's probably not wanting this to get any closer with Jackson Sartain sitting on the bench.
John Carroll is shooting free throws 25 and 26. Meanwhile, the Blue Streaks, we praised them for their offensive prowess behind the three-point line. Defensively, they have been terrible guarding the three ball this year. But in the second half, Baldwin Wallace only has 2 threes. And it's now just a 2-point game as John Carroll calls a timeout. The first half, the Blue Streaks gave up 8 of 16 from 3. And in the second half, BW has hit 2 of 11. And all of a sudden here, it's a 2-point game with under 2 minutes to play. Alex Nara, the game's leading scorer, 18 points, 8 rebounds on 8 of 10 from the floor. Quiring, Schaefer, and Soba have 10. Drew Soba double-double. Ryan Berger 16 and 5. He's 7 of 10 from the stripe. Jimmy Berger 15 and 7. Connor Fitzgerald 11 off the bench. Sartain 11 points, 3 of 11 shooting. They're all threes. 10 points for Flannery. Emmett Chambers kind of quiet tonight, 4 and 3. He's 2 for 9 shooting it. And most of those misses are within just a few feet of the basket. Here comes Quiring. BW 3 timeouts. John Carroll with 2. Jackets in the bonus, Carroll in double bonus. Sabula feeds Nara. 8 to shoot, 133 to go. Nara turns around, missed everything. Soba losing the ball, got it back, and there's a foul on the floor. No shot for Drew Soba, but he'll shoot a 1-and-1 coming up. It's on Fitzgerald, who grabbed at Soba's wrist. 4th foul on the senior guard from Lake Catholic. Drew Soba steps to the free throw line, where on the season he's been 77%. 1-and-1. Nara tried to grab it, but he commits a foul. That's Alex Nara's 4th personal. Now you got to start thinking about the bigger picture here. Nara's got 4, Schaefer's got 3, Dimitriev's has 3. Most of the Jackets have at least 2. Only guy in real foul trouble for JCU is Connor Fitzgerald with 4, 3 on Chambers. 2 free throws here for Jimmy Berger would tie the game. He's now 6 of 10 from the line tonight, 16 points. BW's largest lead was 14 earlier this half. And we are tied at 72 with 1:28 to play. Anthony Mazzio back in for Drew Silva. 17 for Jimmy Berger. Sabula gets it right back from Mazzio. Winner of this game makes up a game in the OAC standings. Both teams upper echelon in the league right now. Nara finds Sabula. What a play! Rather Mazzio that scored it. Either way, a terrific effort.
Yeah, nice little give and go there, no doubt about that. Clutch play for the freshman in a big game. Far from over, though, with 1:10 left.
Sova replaces Nara. Alex, with those 4 fouls, will sit for a minute. Big, deep breath for the freshman. And the pride of the Polar Bears from Massillon Jackson makes it a 3-point night. 75-72, 9 points now for Mazzio. Easy play, Berger, outstretched arm over Sova. 75-74, that happened fast. They haven't put it on the board yet, but it's just a 1-point contest. There it is. All right, 49 seconds left in regulation. Wiring finds Sabula for 3. Yes! One of the biggest shots of Sabula's career. 78-74. Timeout, Jackets.
Once again, here we go again in one of these games. And on the other side of town, Brendan, it looks like the Yellow Jackets are going to take their first loss in the conference. They're trailing 55-49 with 17 seconds left.
Well, it's not over yet,
Yeah.
but they're in trouble.
They scored a 3-pointer at the 28-second mark. That was their first basket in over 4 minutes. Wow.
Well, we'll let you know how that one finishes up. But in the meantime, focusing on the one in front of us, 42.8 seconds to play. John Carroll has the ball. We'll have to go 94 feet on the inbound here after the timeout called for by BW. Both teams are now in the double bonus. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. JCU's hit 20 of 28 free throws. BW's 7 of 9 from the free throw line. Both teams recognizing the gravity of this one here. Carroll is playing pretty good basketball of late. They lost 3 in a row to Marietta Mount Union and inexplicably to Muskingum, but responded winning 6 straight before dropping a 1-point game against Capital last weekend. They've dug themselves out of a 14-point hole. It was tied at 72. Now the Streaks have it down 4. Sartain, well guarded. Back to the corner. Jimmy Berger. Chambers couldn't handle it.
I don't even think it got to Chambers. I think Sova's arms got in the way of that one.
Sartain fouls Mazzio out of necessity. Baldwin Wallace is in a good spot here with a 4-point lead and 2 foul shots coming. 22.6 on the timer. Anthony Mazzio. Hit a big free throw a moment ago. Chance to hit 2 here. 79-74. Last year, BW won by scores of 93-83 as Pete Moran calls timeout. That was a game played here. And the Jackets won across town 89-85 in the middle of January. This is also a 2-game home winning streak prior to the last time these teams met last February. There had been 3 straight played in University Heights. BW won on January 17th, 2018. A regular season game played on this floor as well. It's been a fun series all time. Mentioned it earlier. The Jackets lead the all-time series 63-59. It's kind of what you hope from 2 teams that over the years have both made some nice runs, but always had good teams. Fun rivalry.
Just what you expect out of 2 local colleges that are so close. Like we talked about earlier, recruiting the same guys, trying to get these kids into their schools so they can say, hey, you come over here, you can be against your teammate or your teammates here. Why don't you come and join?
I promise you there are players on both teams whose brothers are being recruited right now by the other schools. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It never ends.
And probably Mount Union and Marietta and everybody else are recruiting them too.
Anthony Mazzio. 1 free throw here. He hits it. Good job by Mazzio. Snyder replaces Sova because he can afford to foul. The Jackets lead this game 80-74, although it hasn't gone up on the board until just now. 20 seconds remaining. Berger got away with a travel. Now he shoots a 3, and he makes it. Timeout, John Carroll. That's costly. He walked with the ball.
Yes, he definitely did. There's no doubt about that. And that's the one thing here. I keep saying it. They're all wondering where Jackson Sartain is, and you can't leave somebody else open. You talked about their 3-point shooting percentage all game, and that's exactly what they do. They'll find that open guy. And Berger, the senior, he knows what it's all about to be in these games, so he's not going to be afraid to take that shot.
It's John Carroll's 9th 3-pointer of the game. Jimmy Berger's 1st. Ryan Berger has 1 3. Fitzgerald and Flannery each have 2. Sartain's hit 3. 80-77 as JCU burns its final timeout. And on the other side of town in the women's game, John Carroll beats BW 59-53. Jackets have the ball. It'll be a baseline inbound in the backcourt. 14.2 on the clock.
You talked about the strength of the Carroll team being a little different. Their press, and I remember it from years and years, was fierce. They kind of, after the trap gets broken in the corner, they lay off it. Before, they never stopped until it was over the timeline.
Well, they used to do 5 in, 5 out every 3 or 4 minutes, and while they have gone deep into their bench tonight, playing a bunch of guys, they have not used those same style of substitutions. In fact, earlier in the year, there were games where they were playing 7 or 8, and that was it. So they are learning something about their depth, that's for sure. All right, Jackets with the ball and a 3-point lead, 14 seconds to go. Snyder calls timeout. Well, he had 2 to work with, so you might as well use 1. Can't afford to turn it over there. The Jackets will likely draw up a different looking play, and this is a full timeout for BW. Real quick across the conference, a look at the scoreboard. Mount Union 105, Marietta 69 with 30 seconds to go. So that one's over. Wilmington beats Muskingum by 20. So Wilmington goes to 4 and 5 in league play. The Muskies fall to 3 and 6. Ohio Northern leads Otterbein 79-78, 12 seconds left. And in overtime, Capital 84, Heidelberg 82. So 2 blowouts and 3 very close games in the league tonight.
And in that Muskingum game, you can imagine why it was that look big. Dempsey only had 13 points.
There you go. Outside of Marcus Dempsey, they haven't been particularly good this year. So Marietta falls for the second time. They're 14 and 2, 8 and 1 in the league. Union beats them head to head, so they'll jump them in the standings, but 8 and 1. Purple Raiders are 13 and 3. BW entered tonight 5-3. Carroll, Capital, and Heidelberg were all 4-4 at the start of the night. Heidelberg and Capital playing each other. And this one hasn't been decided yet. Zach Sabula with a 3-point lead. He's got to get it in, finds Luke Schaefer. Clock is running. Schaefer to Quiring, who couldn't have been more open. Easy layup, 5-point lead. 8 seconds to go. Fitzgerald to Ryan Berger. He misses the three. It's tipped off the rim. Twice it misses, and the game is over. Baldwin Wallace survives a late scare from John Carroll. They finish the game with a 10-5 run and win by 5, 82-77. Baldwin Wallace goes to 10-6. They are 6-3 in the conference. John Carroll falls to 11-5. They've dropped 2 straight and are now 4-5 in league play. Even though they haven't won the last couple games, this JCU team, you just kind of get the feeling they are on the edge of being really good. The Jackets got the better of them tonight.
First half of the season, you know, we're talking about at the beginning, everybody's feeling everybody out when they play each other. So now all of a sudden you're going to see what could happen in the second half, and going to University Heights, going to Wilmington for the Jackets. Some of these tight games get a little tighter on somebody else's court. So it's going to be an interesting rest of the season in the OAC to see who's going to take that 3rd, 4th, 5th spots, and the rest of the league underneath will probably do its normal, figure it out itself.
BW 82, John Carroll 77. Leading scorer in the ball game was John Carroll's Jimmy Berger, 22 points, 7 of 16 from the floor, 7 of 11 from the free throw line. John Carroll shot 18 free throws in the second half, and they hit 14 of them. Jackets only shot 11 free throws all game, but they hit 9 of 11. BW leading scorer Alex Nara, 4th consecutive terrific offensive game. 19, 21, 19, and tonight 18 points for Alex Nara, all off the bench. He also had 8 rebounds. There were 6 Yellow Jackets in double figures, 12 apiece from Quiring and Sabula. Mazzio with 11, including 3 big late foul shots. 10 points from Luke Schaefer and 10 from Drew Sova, who finished with a double-double, 11 rebounds. By the way, Quiring also had 6 assists on the night. On the JCU side, they also got 16 from Ryan Berger, 12 from Connor Fitzgerald, 11 from Jackson Sartain, and 10 from Sean Flannery. Jackson Sartain hit 3 threes tonight, which means the next one he hits, likely next game, will be the 250th three-pointer of his career. He's only a junior. He's got a chance to break the OAC all-time record. We had 14 lead changes, Jeff, in the first 12 minutes. And then didn't have another one. Jackets did give up a tie, 72-72 late, but they were able to play from out front the rest of the game, and they won by 5. And so all of a sudden, this team is 6-3 halfway through the OAC. You referenced it. They only have 2 home games the whole month of February. They've got a tough schedule coming up, but all things considered, in a pretty good spot right now.
Like we talked about, nobody would really have thought this team was going to be in the midst of where they are right now, sitting in the 3rd spot, playing well. They're coming together. They had their bumps in the beginning of the year, and now they're starting to play together very well. We keep talking about it game after game that the defense is a key. They're shooting when they shoot well. They're as good as any team in this league, so you got to look out for them. They're going to play some spoilers. Hopefully they don't get tripped up by some other people looking to play spoiler, but that's what the OEC is all about.
No doubt about it. So the Jackets 10-6, 6-3 in conference. John Carroll falls to 11-5. They are 4-5 in conference play. 2 wins in a row for BW, and 3 of their last 4 as they hit the road for a big matchup against a team at Marietta that is going to be hopping mad after they got curb stomped tonight, 107-70 in Alliance. Van Johnson Arena is a tough place to play in the first place, but you can bet Marietta is going to be looking to take out some of those hits by 10 earlier in the season. Other finals tonight, Otterbein 81, Ohio Northern 79. The Cardinals hit a late 3 and won that game. So Otterbein now is 2-7 in the league. Ohio Northern falls to 2-7. Wilmington beat Muskingum, so the Quakers are 4-5. The Muskies fall to 2-7. In overtime with 1 second left, Capital and Heidelberg are tied at 85, so not sure if they're going to go to double OT or not. But that's your look around the OAC. The Jackets pick up a game in conference play today because now Marietta and Mount Union are both 8-1. The Jackets improved to 6-3. Thanks for joining us tonight from Ursprung Gymnasium. For Jeff Miller and our entire production crew, I'm Brendan Gulick. So long. It's 82-77 a final. The Yellow Jackets, 3 wins in a row over their crosstown rivals. Have a good night, everybody.